certainly be doing things for the community is certainly Stanley Jacobs. Thank you so much for joining us and being here, welcoming us with your presence, you know, digital creator all the way from the Cape Flats with real Cape Flats stories, from Soetwater to Lavis, from slaves to business owners rather, from Constantia to Cape Flats. Man, this is Stanley Jacobs, none other than the amazing digital creator.
Thank you so much for having me here. I feel so honored.
We feel honored.
Yes.
So now, especially for our viewers, right? If you don't know the Cape Flats, maybe you're not from Cape Town. If you don't know the Cape Flats, maybe you're just not from South Africa. Most people know exactly, you know, where the Cape Flats are, a little bit of what about the Cape Flats is about, but now you are specifically trying to get people to understand Cape Flats stories. What is Cape Flats stories all about?
Cape Flats Stories is about the positivity. You know, once you go onto Google and you type in Cape Flats, you see a lot of gangsters. You see people that we are not representing. And my reason for Cape Flats Stories is to tell the real stories. There's business owners, there is creative people. You have like the Temple Boys, you have Benny McCarthy, you have all those amazing people. So the idea behind Cape Flats Stories is to tell the real story.
And I think that is so important, especially for the people in the community. The Cape Flats stories are hardly ever told, and being someone that's also from the Cape Flats, you know, it needs to be told, because there's a thing that goes around that says the colored culture doesn't exist, and it truly does exist. And
Who's
so
lying?
being a digital creator and being for the people of the Cape Flats, you know, there's a process that goes to it. There's a creative process. What would you say you enjoy the most about what it is that you do, and what would you say is the challenging bit, or the bit that frustrates you?
I think the most amazing bit is working in my community. So aside from creating content, I work in my community. We help build libraries, we help feed people. And we don't want to brag about it, but it's my duty to always give back to my community. The sad part is getting my people to believe in themselves, to work hard, to stop being, you know, taking the easy way out. So it's for me to motivate my people. That's the most difficult part.
Stanley doesn't want to brag, so we'll just brag for him. So I've got to ask, you've got so many stories that you've gone through, so many stories you've heard, so many stories you've been involved in. What is one of the stories that has touched your heart the most?
Sure.
I think the most amazing story was over the weekend. I shared a story of a young boy looking for a job. He's a chef, so he just finished, last year finished with his studies, and he needed a job. He's got a single mother. And while standing, so I helped him last year, advertised it, got a few people to talk to him. So while standing in a mall, in Westgate Mall on Saturday, his mother comes to me and asks me, "Are you Stanley Jacobs?" I said, "Yes." And I thought, now I probably owe this woman money or something. And then she said, she just want to thank me for helping her son finding a job. He's a chef.
Wow.
He is busy growing. It's a year and a half later. So I think it's things like, there's a lot more stories, but it's helping people grow in their careers.
And as you're saying, that is one of the little things that you've done already in the community. And you know, you have this podcast with Cape Flats Real Stories. How would you say the people in the community at large has been receiving it so far?
To be honest with you, when I go into a Manenberg, Hanover Park, people know me. And it's places where I don't normally go. They will tell me, "But we know you from Cape Flats Stories. We follow you, uncle." And I think people listen to my stories, you know, so that is the main thing. And some of them do respond to it as well.
And I think that is so important, being an example, you know, to so many people of color out there, you know. They always need to see someone that looks like them to be like, you know what, I can also do it. And it's very, very important that when people do things in the community, that when they do reach up, to not look back and be like, I'm not from there, or to forget where you come from. But you know, I have to ask you, there's something coming through very shortly. There's a book coming through. Speak to us a bit about that.
I launched my latest book, Cape Flats Undercover. So everything I write is about the Cape Flats. I'm obsessed with those people living there. So Cape Flats Undercover is a story to highlight fiction, to highlight the disappearing of girls. Like, you know, a lot of our girls disappear on the Cape Flats. And I've heard some real stories. I've spoken to parents, and I decided I'm going to write a book. I wrote a book of two detectives in, and these two detectives saves the Cape Flats at the end of the day. So I took that negative story and tried and turned it into a positive story at the end as well. Book is doing very well. I've sold quite a few copies and good reviews as well. So I'm looking forward to next year when I release the follow-up.
2023 coming through with new things, new memories, new journeys. And would you say, is there a movie to be expected? Can the people expect anything else from Stanley Jacobs in the new year?
I would love to release a movie. It depends on the sponsors. You know, it's difficult to get sponsors. So I do hope anybody listening to me, please sponsor me. I would like to create a movie. I also wrote my first book as well. That should also be a movie. It's our stories, speaks about everything that we do, and not everything that we write about that means that we are gangsters. We are trying to change the narrative.
Changing the narrative,
That's
certainly.
Kezia mentioned it earlier as well. Representation is so important, and you're doing such incredible things for a community. Folks, we have absolutely loved having Stanley in studio. Thank you so much, Stanley, for joining us and just being a little bit vulnerable with us as well.
And just
you so
before you
much.
go, I want to ask, what is your message you'd like to put out there for the new year?
You know, it's okay if people give up on you, but don't you give up on you. That's my message to you. Stay positive.
Right there.
Yes.
Mic drop right there. Man, that was Stanley Jacobs. Thank you so much for being here. And I know the people at home, if you do not know about his podcast, please do go now and follow him on social media platforms. Cape Town, Cape Flat stories, of course, coming through right there. Stanley Jacobs. But right now, we're going to take a quick breather and we'll be back with more of EKSE after this. Do not go anywhere.